What's good, family? This is Urban Politics, and I'm back at you guys once again with a follow-up video to a video that I did a couple of days ago that really got a lot of people kind of, feeling some type of way about what I had to say. And one of the things that people in the comment section said that I thought made sense was, why don't you talk about his talking points? So what I want to do here is break down in a very concise manner some of the things that this man said, which are completely false. Okay. After I dispel some of these things that this man was saying, I want you guys to watch the comment section. Watch the comment section this time. You know, some people are going to come in, they're just going to throw a down vote. They're just going to throw a down vote. They're not going to have anything really to say. They're just going to throw a down vote because they don't like the fact that I responded. They don't like the fact that I'm a black man defending black men. Okay. Because so many people, in order to, and this is my theory on this before I get into all of this, there's a lot of people out there who in general have a disdain and or a hatred for black men in general. Okay. In general, they have a hatred. So what they have to do to continuously perpetuate that hatred is highlight negative examples of black men. Okay. The first thing that this man said that really was very suspect, and I quote, he said, black men came home from World War II and experienced maybe a different type of emotional response to trauma, to PTSD. Maybe people of my ancestry are just built better to maintain a better morale in that type of high stress situation. Now, understand this is the part that's missing from Cynthia G and from this Mr. Brad's conversation on this whole topic of welfare benefits being for World War II widows, black people coming home from World War II. What happened? What happened? What happened? You don't understand historically. It's just, and this is how ignorance reveals itself, right? Because you're not educated to what happened to black World War II veterans, because you haven't addressed the elephant in the room, which is that racism has been an intrinsic part of American history from day one. Did you know, let me quantify what I'm saying for you. Did you know that a lot of black Americans were denied GI benefits after World War II? You understand? Like, a lot of people don't know this. Okay, to be more specific, there were racist politicians who have who seem to have a knack for trying to oppress black people. Would you deny the existence of that? Do you not see throughout the history of America that there has been white male politicians who have made it their thing to try to suppress black people, black power, black votes, restrict black people? Have you ever heard of redlining? Like, people just speak all these things about black America and you don't have any historical context, but you look at me and say, oh, well, you know, he's being emotional. He's just angry. He's irate. Because you're ignorant and you're talking about things that you don't even know. Put it in context. What happened at the end of World War II? Maybe you didn't know that black people were discriminated upon and black male veterans were excluded from, well, not excluded, but they made it much more difficult for black male individuals to get GI benefits, right? His comment about World War II and white people have a better way, people of his ancestry are built better, sounded racist. It's not like racist, but it sounds kind of like a white supremacist type of argument is basically what he's trying to say without any data. What I'm giving you is data to help you understand that when white males came home from World War II, they were able to receive GI benefits. They didn't face discrimination. They didn't step into a world that tended to hate them and discriminate against them. Give me one second to plug my Mac in. However, black male veterans did. That is the world that they stepped into when they came home from World War II. So when you put that in historical context, you can understand that it's not because your people are built better. It's because from day one in America, and I'm not talking about to this necessarily so much to this day, but from the inception, from from America's inception, hey, in the Constitution, Black people were considered 3/5 of a human being. You can't argue with facts. And and the saddest part about that is when this white man said this, Cynthia G just, that's all she had to say about it. And it just makes me think, damn, maybe she historically don't know what happened either. She just, or she don't care. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to focus on Cynthia G because whatever, we're dealing with Mr. Brad's talking points at this moment. So that's the first thing he said, which I'm addressing it and I've addressed it, okay, historically with facts. Okay, this is not my opinion. This is not my emotion. This is not my thought. This is what factually happened at the end of World War II, okay? Now, another thing he said as well was that Black men have no interest in education. And I'm going to share my screen so y'all can, because again, let me explain something to you. I deal with engineering. I day trade. There is no such thing as like a variable truth. There's not like, oh, well, like, bro, you're right or you're wrong. Okay, you're right or you're wrong. So when his exact words were Black men have no interest in education. Is that true? Is that right or is that wrong? Or is he being biased? Is he being lightweight racist? Is he showing you his own ignorance? I'm gonna share my screen for y'all. So what you're looking at here, as it says here, figure 19.3, is a percentage of 18 to 24-year-olds enrolled in college by sex and race ethnicity, comparing to the year 2000 to the year 2016, okay? And again, this comes from NCES.ed.gov, very well-respected source of information, okay? I will leave the link to this entire article. It's a very interesting document, well over 150, 200 some odd pages dealing with a lot of statistical data as it pertains to race, educational attainment, not just in post-secondary or college, but also high school, elementary school on down, okay? Very well-respected document. Because again, as I said, you're either right or you're wrong. There is no middle ground where it's like, oh yeah, well, I'm right, but I'm wrong, right? Or you're wrong, but you're still right, okay? No, you're either right or you're wrong, okay? Now, comparing this information, right? We're talking about the topic of education because again, Mr. Brad says that Black men don't have an interest in education, right? So when you look at the year 2000 and you separate this by sex and gender, right? What you see total basically is this: 33% of men were enrolled in college, okay? Enrolled in some level of college in the year 2000, right? For women, it was 38%, okay? Now, fast forward to 2016, 39% of males and 44% of females, respectively, are enrolled in college, okay? Now, when you look at, obviously, the most educated group of males is not even in this study, which is Asian males, okay? Excuse me. But second to Asian males is always white, Caucasian males, right? And you see in 2020, 36% of white males were enrolled in college. To 2016, that number is now 40%, right? Now, if you look for African-American males, the number is 25%, okay? 25% of Black men in the year 2000 were enrolled in college, and now 33% in 2016, okay? Now, interestingly, when you compare that to other ethnic groups, for example, Hispanic males, 18% of them were enrolled in college as opposed to 2016, 35% of them now, right? So what this is telling you is that basically in 2016, there is a 7% difference between white males enrolled in college and Black males enrolled in college. 7% difference. So when someone says that Black men have no interest in education, the data is suggesting, logically, the data suggests that Black men do have an interest in education, that they are going to college, albeit at a slightly lower rate than white males, but at a very comparable rate to other quote unquote minority groups. Would you say that, this is the question I have to anyone who still believes that Black men have no interest in education. Would you also say your statement can only be considered factually accurate if you would also say that Hispanic men have no interest in education. And I say that because the numbers are side by side comparable. Oh, no, but no, black men don't have no interest in education. No, but Hispanic men do. Yeah. And you have all these excuses. People start coming with all these excuses. I thought this was about the truth. I thought this was about having a logical discussion. What are we perpetuating? Are you in reality, or are you just in your own head? Look at the numbers. I'll share the PDF. No problem. No problem at all. Okay. So black men have no interest in education. We just dispelled that completely. Okay. And I gave you guys my personal testimony. That it's enough said about that. Okay. Now, he said also too that black men tease each other for being educated. Black men discourage one another from being educated. Well, I can tell you for 100% fact that amongst my peers, and again, I had it the roughest of all except for like one of my peers, okay? And I never had any of them tease me or anything like that for being educated, for wanting to go to school, for being a software developer, okay? I used to work side by side when I had when I worked at a warehouse with one of my old buddies that I grew up with. And, there was never any teasing involved in me pursuing an education. My friend was happy for me. And he told me, like, man, he's a little jealous when I promoted and kind of moved up as far as that goes. So he's saying, oh, well, black men don't root each other on. Yeah, black men could do a better job rooting each other on and supporting one another. But the whole point is this: how the hell does a white suburban male know what black men are doing? You don't know. This is the question. How many successful black men do you know? Like in real life. I'm not talking about social media, YouTube. I'm talking about in real life. How many successful black men do you have conversations with about these types of topics? Oh, no, but you won't. You won't have those conversations with them. That's why you have all these you've come to all these false conclusions, because in real life, you don't know what the hell is going on. You're out of touch with reality. And I've already illustrated that to you in more ways than one. Okay. Where I do give him credit is he did talk about black men, some black men not taking accountability for their children. I have also had videos talking about, these deadbeat single dad, these deadbeat baby daddies and all of that. And we know that's unacceptable. We know it's unacceptable. And we know about the statistics about unwed mothers in the black community, and it's unacceptable. But rather than us sit up here, what I'm not going to do is say that it's 100% black men's fault that's happening. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's 100% black man's fault. It's 100% that man's fault for doing what he did, and 100% the woman's fault for allowing herself to be in that type of situation. That's where I have to land that plane. I can't say like, oh, well, damn, it's 100% on the men. No, but they both chose to lay up and have unprotected sex. What did you think was going to happen? Like, yo, you could have just said no. You could have said, hey, bro, like, whoa, slow that thing down. They could have chose to do things differently. They both made that decision. That's why they're both in that situation. Okay. And so both of them are equally responsible. Okay. Again, a lot of people don't understand this. From the 1920s to the 1960s, Black America, we as Black people had the highest rate of marriage of any ethnic group in the United States of America. Look it up. Okay. Then what happened in the 60s? When you go from the 60s to about the 1990s, early 2000s, you see a drastic change in the culture and in a lot of times the psyche of a lot of Black people. What happened at that time? Okay. Listen, all I'm going to say about it is this. And I know that we as Black people, I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, we're victims, but I cannot also say that we're not victims. Ask yourself this question. We know what the crack epidemic did to Black families around that time. It put a lot of Black men in jail, and it destroyed a lot of Black peoples and their legacy and their bloodline. It set us back a long, long time. My question to you guys is this. How many damn boats do you think Black folks own boats to get drugs here? Black folks don't own no damn boats. Black folks didn't own no planes. They wasn't going to Colombia picking no, the government knew what was going on when it comes to cocaine and drugs and all of that. And then look at the way that society treated Black drug addicts in comparison to how it treats white drug addicts to this day. Think about how society treats a white person on heroin as a victim, but they look at a black man on coke, on crack, as this nuisance, this pest, this trash. And it's not, it's the way that society treats black people, particularly black men. Case in point example, black men on average make more money than Hispanic males, but you don't see Hispanic women on the internet calling Hispanic men dusty. Black men get educated at comparable rates to Hispanic males, okay? But you don't see any person on the internet saying that Hispanic males have no interest in education. I've just given you 3 examples of how black males and non-black males are put on 2 completely different, they're measured in 2 completely different ways. And it's not, I don't even want to talk about it being fair. Fair is not even the word. That is, in my opinion, it's racism. It's racism. It's a form of anti-black male sentiments, an undeserved aggression towards black males, an undeserved form of belittling black men. And listen, I'm not complaining. Guess what? It's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. People doing all this and having all these biases, it doesn't stop me from doing what I'm doing, getting my money and helping and building up my community and investing, doing it. It's not stopping me at all. I'm just making it, I'm just letting y'all know that this is what we as black men face every day, not even from exclusively outside people, but also from inside sources as well. People on the inside. In other words, I'm saying black women. Okay. Where are the Hispanic women talking about trash bag Hispanic males, trash bag dusties? When have you ever seen a non-black woman describe men of their own race as trash bag dusties? There's poor people of all ethnic groups. And according to the data, you could actually argue that other ethnic groups of people are less concerned with education than black men. So family, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna land this point. Black folks got to realize, black women should realize. First of all, I hear y'all, I'm listening, and I agree with a lot of the talking points that I think in general, as a whole, black men need to become more educated, that black men, we need to become more precise in our efforts to, and more intentional in our approach to solving the problems in our community 100%. And we definitely need to step our moral game up, okay? But this is the thing folks have to understand. Black women must understand. We are not white men. Our history is night and day. Take some time to get educated on the history of America and the things that black males have had to endure. Black people in general have had to endure. This is the legacy that we come from. We don't come from a legacy of people wanting to come to America to explore and become rich. We were brought to America to be slaves, and the laws that were passed were designed to keep us and hold us back. All of the black male leaders, like we're talking about the strong black male leaders, were assassinated. In a lot of instances, you can tie that back to the government, right? So these are the things that we have to deal with. So what I'm trying to say is this: the work that needs to be done needs to be done. But and I'm just putting it out there, you got to give things time, and you got to create an environment or an atmosphere where the work can be done. There are men who are already doing the work. Where are you? Do you listen to them? Do you follow them? Are you around them? I really think that some of y'all have become, a lot of women, y'all better be careful, because y'all have become the cheerleaders of white supremacy. Y'all really are. This is the reason why Cynthia G didn't have when the white man said what he said about World War II, she didn't have anything to say. She didn't have no rebuttals to anything that this man said. But I'm bringing data, facts, and statistics. She had nothing to say about it. What does that say about her as a woman, as a black woman? Oh, but you're educated and whoop-de-whoop. It doesn't matter. Man, first of all, again, college is not for everyone. College is expensive. And black people did not get reparations, right? If black people had money, then these numbers in terms of education would be higher. Because I think we can all agree that going to college is extremely expensive. And a lot of people they won't go to college because they don't have money to pay for it. Maybe they don't want student loans. But again, I'm going to land this plane here. I don't have really anything more to say. I just want to make this video, talk about some of this guy's talking points, and break down the bullshit, the truth from the lie. Okay, because there is no ambiguity in the truth. The truth, there's no variable truth. You're either telling the truth or your ass is lying. Okay, and it's that simple, family. Like, share, subscribe. Somebody share this with Cynthia G or Brad. Do me that favor. Do me a solid. You dig? Till we chat again. This Urban Politics, and I'm out of here on that. Dude.